Welcome to Raising Whitetails. Our family became deer farmers with a lot of questions, so we started documenting everything. What actually happens on a deer farm. Not just the wins, but the lessons and everything in between. The moments that no one talks about. Real, raw, and unfiltered. This is our journey for the new deer farmers. Welcome back to episode 7 of Raising Whitetails. We have a great episode for you guys today. We are preparing for our fawns coming very soon. I'm your host, Aaron Haig, and with me is my dad, Jeremy Haig, the owner of Haig Valley Whitetails, and replacing Isaac today is Caleb Haig. And we are going to be showing you what we've been preparing for the past week, couple weeks.
It's been a lot longer than a week, but go ahead.
Yeah. But we've really been focusing in on it for the past couple of weeks. Before we get into it, though, I want to remind you guys of our gender reveal challenge. On the last episode, which is episode 6, we had you all make sure you're subscribed to the podcast and then have your guess of buck to fawn or buck to doe ratios. If you're new, the challenge is we have 6 pregnant doe who we all think are going to have twins. They could have more, they could have less. So the number could be 12 or more, 12 or less. And the parameters are you have to make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. So that's Raising Whitetails. And you have to make sure that you comment on the YouTube video. The winners will get their choice of what we're wearing right now, our long sleeve Raising Whitetails shirts, a Raising Whitetails sweatshirt, or a Raising Whitetails polo. And if there aren't any winners, we will put everyone who entered the challenge into a hat or whatever. We'll pull the name and we'll get that winner.
And if there's more than one, those winners.
Yeah. If there's more than one person who guesses the right ratio, then they'll all be winners. And make sure to watch until the end because we have another featured buck of the week and you're not going to want to miss it.
If you haven't seen it yet, go check out the unboxing video of Russell Ogle's dart holder for the G2X caliber. And hand in hand with that is Greg Leonard's AccuDart scope, which we're going to show you the unboxing of that right now. And next week, we'll do a full field review of both products working together. You're not going to want to miss this. Got a new box in the mail. Greg Leonard sent us something. Let's see what it is. Grab my Havalon. It's a brand new AccuDart Smart Scope from Garmin. I've heard nothing but amazing things about these. Greg teamed up with Garmin to create the AccuDart Smart Scope. Let's see what it looks like. Oh wow, that is amazing. I cannot wait to mount this on the Excalibur. Thanks again to Greg Lenders for sending us this scope. Be sure to follow the Raising Whitetails podcast where we're going to do a full scope review. This thing is going to change the RDD industry. Now we're going to go through our full farm shopping list, everything that we have on hand for any situation. We're going to just read off an item on the list. Caleb is going to be the handyman, grab whatever it is off the table. We'll show you it. He's my little gopher.
Yeah, he's always that little gopher. But we're going to show you the item and we're just going to give a brief explanation.
Yeah, Caleb's going to take a big part in this fawning, the fawning season. He's going to be our main feeder. He's going to feed all the babies. So
I enjoy doing that.
All right. Yes, I'm sure you will. I think we're all going to enjoy that. But between you and Mom, I think we're probably going to have to fight you off to go feed the babies, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we're really, really excited about fawning season. I'm a little bit on the nervous side as well. It kind of pulling my hair out a little bit, but that comes with the job, I think.
Yeah.
Especially with the first crop of fawns you've ever had, ever. Let's start. So we've got a digital thermometer. So digital thermometer, obvious things. We need to take the temperature. My understanding is the fawn has to be around 101. So if it's less, of course, we got to deal with that. And we've got some other things like heat lamps on here that we'll show you. And then if it goes higher, 102, whatever, higher than 101, then we've got to deal with a fever situation. That's for later. We got a 110 volt heated blanket. That was something I was told definitely to get, and that's down here. We won't bother showing it. Everybody knows what a heated blanket is, but have one on hand for if you have a fawn that is too cold. If it comes in under 101,
you got to wrap it up in that blanket and get that body temperature up. My understanding is that pneumonia is one of the biggest killers for fawns. And then there's Clostridium, which is one of the big killers. There's scours, that's one of the big ones. Those, so it's a clean, healthy, temperature proper, and keep them hydrated and all that stuff. So heated blanket, a hair dryer, same thing. If they're wet, if they're cold, it's heat. We're applying heat. And then so an IV bag of lactated ringers with a tube kit. We don't have one here with us to show you. However, we will flash one up on the screen, and that is just an IV bag with a tube that you will put intravenously and be able to get them you're rehydrating. If they're dehydrated, it's got all sorts of things to kind of pick them back
Electrolytes.
up. Yeah, electrolytes, things like that to pick them back up. Yeah. So that's something that you have to, and just for all the new deer farmers out there, and I'm in the same boat right now because I haven't done anything yet, but you've kind of got to be your own vet here a little bit. You're going to be placing an IV. You're going to be giving shots. You're going to be doing all those things that you just can't afford to get the veterinarian out. You want to get the veterinarian out for the things that you can't handle. Broken legs, even sometimes they're fixed by the farmer. Most of the time, I think. But at the same time, there's things, the emergencies is what you want to save the vet for. Otherwise, we'll go broke. Is kind of what I've been told. Okay, so another thing would be, so you want to have boxes of go ahead, hand me over the boxes of syringes and needles. So this is a needle of the 16 gauge needles, or a box of 16 gauge needles, box of 22 gauge needles, and then let's see, we don't have the 25, so we don't have to worry about that. But I get a box of 100 of them. You can get them on Amazon. You can go to your vet clinic for those lactated ringers. They have them there. You have to get that through a vet anyway. I don't think you have a choice. At least that's what I'm finding. Then we got syringes, boxes of syringes. These syringes are the
1 cc.
1 cc, 50 count. I think this is the one that actually has the 25 gauge. There's the 25 gauge needle. We searched for this because I knew I got 25 gauge needles. Well, it's because we got a box of 100 1 cc syringes, and it's got the 25 gauge needle on it. So we've got the 3 size needles, and actually we have 20s and 18s and things like that as well. So we just pretty much have anything we're ever going to need, probably way more than we're going to need. And for 6 deer, I sure don't need a box of 100 of anything. Yeah. But they come that way. Amazon sells them that way, and you'll have them for a really long time. All right. So we've got the other boxes here too of the different size syringes. So I got to get you to hand them to me so I'm not reaching across. So these are the 3 cc, I believe. And so there's 1, 3, and 6 cc syringes. You're just going to want to have them on hand for whatever you might need to do as far as the amount that you're giving them. Whitetex tags. So those are the ones we were talking about that are these, they're really small. They're just a little strip. They're like 1/2 inch wide or 3/4 of an inch wide by a couple inches long. Very light for the fawns, so they don't have to carry that heavy tag in their ear for, we'll have it in there for 6 months or so, and then we'll take it out and give them their farm tag. And then I've got a tag remover as well. That's something you just use for when you are going to cut them out, or if you have to cut them out, or if you decide you didn't want that tag, put another one on, that cuts it off. So then we've got the tagger itself. So here's something interesting I learned in all this research, and here is an All-Flex ear tagger. I saw a video the other day on Facebook that mentioned that depending on the brand name of tag you have, that it comes with an actual tagger. I didn't know that. I thought every tag does it, right? So when I called Valley Vet, they have a tag specialist there. I believe her name was Rachel. And she told me that I didn't have to get a separate tag or tagger. I just needed to replace the pin. So here are the pins. We just got the pins, and that works for the Whitetex tags. And then this is the one for the all flex tags, and those are, the bigger ones for the adult tags. So you want to have a tagger on hand and the proper pins for the proper tags. And that's what I was told. I was told by a number. I saw it on Facebook as well as I talked to the actual people that sell them. So, and I'm new, so there's probably some farmers out there that are saying, yeah, one works for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea.
Who knows?
At this point, you know what? I'm prepared. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It might be over prepared, but we are prepared, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Energizer Fawn Paste, we went through that. Nothing more left to say. This is specifically get it from Brad Heath at Orion Whitetails. We have his contact information put on our podcast a lot. That's who we bought the deer from.
Yep.
So that's where you go for that. I believe he's the only one that carries that, but it's specifically formulated just for deer. And then you want to have some different medications. I mean, these three are the same pretty much, except the Zactran, I guess, is kind of a souped up version of it. But Zactran, Nuflora, Macrocin, Draxin KP, those type of things. I believe they're an antibiotic, and I could be completely wrong on that. We should probably double check what those are for. But those are things to have on hand. And again, that when I started here, I don't know 100% what everything's for, but I'm going to have it here in case Austin, Bob, Brad, or anybody else says, you need this, give it to them now. Right now it'll take care of it. Mm-hmm. I'm just having it here just for that. I don't have a clue what I'm going to use it for yet. So I'm a new deer farmer.
Yep.
We all are. So, all right. Ampicillin, sterile water to mix. So ampicillin, my understanding is kind of that electrolyte thing again.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. Again, we'll find out when we need it, but we'll have it on hand anyway. That I'm getting from the vet. There's a couple things we don't have here because I didn't go over to the vet and get it yet. Vitamin B12. Something that just my understanding, I need it on hand. That's what I'm telling you right now. That I don't know what for, but that's why you want to have it on hand.
Yep.
Then that navel spray that we talked about, it's right here. I already explained that. Iodine you want to have on hand. We're going to get from the vet. We will just throw that up as well. Cordless shaver, where's that? Grab that up there. So this cordless shaver, just found it. It's a pet cordless shaver. We found it on Amazon. Something to have there in case you're gonna have to give IVs, in case you gotta clean up a cut or something to that effect, and all this, because I imagine that this birthing process, which we're about to see, can be a little bit. I've heard a number of times that another deer might be mean to the mom while she's giving.
Really?
Yep, I've heard that. Where that's why they abandon their babies sometimes. Matter of fact, that's what happened at Vanessa's, I believe, is one deer beat up the other deer while it was having the fawn, so she didn't even realize she gave birth because she was worried about getting her rear end kicked by another deer. So so if they were to kick one and it makes a cut, you got to fix it, something to that effect. You've got that there to the razor to do that, and then we're about to get into the stitch kits coming down below. So and then you got a feeder tube for the fawns. So my understanding, again, I don't know for sure, but this isn't open, so we're gonna have to open it. Sorry for all the noise. So I was told that, so I've got a bunch of the rubber ones, and then there's the plastic ones. This is the clear plastic one. It's stiffer. My vet said the same thing. This is the one that they have. Mm-hmm. And this is, we might have got this from whichever one. I think this maybe came from Valley Vet, either way. The point to the clear plastic one is it's stiffer, and it'll go down the throat better and bypass the lungs better and get down into the stomach. Because if a fawn doesn't eat, my understanding is you put this down the throat into the stomach, and then you, with a syringe, you fill the syringe with milk very, very slowly and feed them that way, so they can get that nourishment in there so they can start eating. So my understanding is you really do have to have that on hand for that reason, because you will get fawns that won't eat and they have to get some nourishment. Mm-hmm. So again, I know this is long, and I'm hoping I'm not boring everybody, but I think, I hope this is good information to have for all the new deer farmers.
Yeah, good list.
And maybe there's some old deer farmers that have been around a while. They'll go, yeah, maybe I'll try that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Probably not, but whatever. And that the 100cc syringe, which we've got one here
In the
somewhere.
black packages.
Oh yeah, in the black packages. So these 100cc syringes are what you use for the feeding tube. So you use that. You take the plunger out and put the feeding tube on the end and pour the milk into the syringe. Actually, we saw. I think pretty sure it's Prime Acres has a really good how to do things with the fawns, and they've got a really good feeding tube video. I highly suggest going to it and seeing it. That's what I watched, and I actually feel a lot better about doing this after watching that video. And we'll make our own videos just like that one. However, they've got really good stuff. So head over there to
Prime Acres
Facebook page and see some of the stuff they're talking about for the fawn stuff. It's some really good information to have. I know I'm going to use it. That is for sure. So hats off to Prime Acres. Good job. So zip ties and 1-inch pipe insulation. Now, I can tell you that I ordered this. It's not really what I wanted, but this is pipe insulation and zip ties, and it's basically a casting material is how Austin uses it for a fawn that might break its leg. Mm-hmm. So you'll put the pipe insulation, you'll cut it down the side, you put the pipe insulation around, use some zip ties, and it'll keep them from hurting that leg anymore. So we're gonna get a little stiffer stuff for that. This stuff is way too soft, and so I got it, but I'm probably not gonna use that stuff. Fawn cradle, which we talked about earlier, we're actually going to post a video this week. Was it Buck Creek?
I think so.
Okay, so I think it was Buck Creek posted something here. I don't know how many years ago it was. I guess we have to look at the video and go look it up because he builds it right there. We're gonna build it and make it as well like he did following his video to see how it works for us, and we'll post that same video. Just to kind of he said, hey, if you go get from Walmart, get the pad, and from Harbor Freight, I believe it was Harbor Freight, get the stand, and here's how you make it. So we're gonna give that a whirl, and hats off to them. If it works out, we'll use it, and we'll have a fawn cradle that works really nice. So we'll have that in the future on another podcast, probably next week is my guess.
Yes,
because we're preparing for the fawns. Obviously, have a pen, Sharpie, something to that effect to write, because you're gonna have your spreadsheet out. The spreadsheet I showed you. And then we've got our tablet as well, and we're going to bring the tablet out with GMS on it to enter the animal into the... I don't know if we're going to bring it out there yet or just use this spreadsheet and then come in and use the tablet that way. But you might want to... I'm going to probably have it out there to take pictures, to put the pictures of the fawn into GMS. Mm-hmm. So then we have that record right there. I want to keep these records really good. And when you have 6 deer, it's easy to do all that. And I can only imagine somebody like Brad going, I've got 200 fawns or 150 fawns being born. I can't do all of that.
Yeah.
I can imagine we're going to feel the same exact way. So this is just us over preparing for 12-ish fawns.
We'll see.
All right. So a box of latex gloves right here. I got the black ones just because.
Yep.
Pet pads. We've got them down here, but pet pads we're going to use in the...
right here.
Yep. So we're going to use pet pads. We saw that once down at Vanessa's at Rush Canyon, and it just makes for easier cleanup. So we'll put that in the fawn boxes, as well as a towel. We'll have towels in there as well. There's actually a really good video by Steve Porter that I don't know how long ago it was done. I think it's been out for quite a while, but he's got kind of the same fawn boxes we have, and he's got towels in there, things like that. So. All right. You want wet wipes because you do have to. There's the wet wipes. You do have to make the fawn go to the bathroom. Yep. You gotta. They call it pooping them and peeing them. So you got to get them to do that because they don't. My understanding is they don't do that on their own for a little while. So you have to do that for them, and then that also gives you that option to make sure that everything comes out the way it's supposed to, and that they're healthy. You can tell a lot with that. Clostridium, just in the stool itself, my understanding is if it's white and extremely smelly, you've got to get to that quickly, and you've got to get a vet involved, and or you will lose that fawn to Clostridium. That's like the biggest thing. And then bloating and not eating all those things together, those 4 things together, the chances of that fawn surviving are very, very slim. So you got to have that vet on speed dial and do the best you can to make it, so to get to them before they don't make it. So that is a big deal. So I guess it doesn't sound like a fun thing to do, but at the same time, it's a big key to making sure they survive.
Yeah.
So, and then we also bought some Alumin. It's basically liquid Band-Aid. Kind of looks, it's silver. A lot of guys use it for when they cut antlers off. They kind of spray the end of the antler so it doesn't keep bleeding. It's a liquid Band-Aid, but it seems to be what the industry is using a lot. So this is one of those things I added to the list. And then a crock pot or a sous vide cooker. And Austin recommended the sous vide cooker. So I kind of really, I thought it was a good idea. My understanding is you just put it into a bucket of water or a bowl of water, and it keeps that water the exact temperature that you want it, and then you can get the milk in the bottle the exact temperature you want it all the time. So we're going to give that a whirl, see if that works out good. We also have a crock pot in case that isn't the way we want it. It doesn't work the way we want, but I think that is going to be the ticket to having that 105 to 110. So then when you give it to them, it's right around that 100 to 105 degrees. And we are using, and we don't have it here, but we're going to use the Fox Valley Day 1 milk replacer for the fawns that we raise. That was actually Dan from Broken Arrow had an extra 2 pails that he donated to us. Actually, it was really nice of him. Really nice of him. So yeah, so we've got those, and so that's what we're going to use. And then let's see, we got a meat thermometer right here. That's going to be what we use to get to check the temperature of the milk. Let's see what else here. We're going to have heat lamps in there as well. So then they have the option to go lay underneath the heat lamps. My understanding is they do gravitate to that heat if they don't have the mom to go lay by or something to that effect. So we'll have heat lamps kind of hovering over the top of these boxes. Keep a radio in there. I was told to put a radio in there just to kind of have some noise for them when somebody's not there. I have a sneaking suspicion these fawns will have people around them all the time, between Caleb and Joy, my wife, and both my kids. And then it sounds like we've got people that want to line up to feed the fawns as far as friends of everybody.
Yeah.
I guess it's one of the things I jump to is like, hey, you want to come feed the fawns? Come on over type of thing. And I know we've got to limit that a little bit just to keep bacteria from coming in, but we'll have to have everybody kind of disinfect that are going to do that.
Yeah.
Then we got a camera monitoring system, and this is something that I chose to have because, and I know that a few people have this, but this is a pretty good set of 4, works off of Wi-Fi. We're putting a Wi-Fi. That's the next thing I'm going to say is this Euro Wi-Fi system that's going to come off of the Wi-Fi from the house, going to the handling facility, and we'll have a camera on the fawns that we are bottle feeding, as well as we've got 4 more that go in the pen for watching the does as they're going to give birth, so we know when it's going to happen. So that's the plan there until we have too many deer to follow, and then we'll have to just be out there night and day and stuff like that. But for now, we're going to use cameras to do that. And then did we bring the Avid microchips? Okay, so we did get some Avid microchips. This is one of those things that we ended up getting from a farmer that is not that just had closed the doors and decided to go a different route. So those microchips are something to take the place of the 840 tags, the metal ones that our deer have on them now. It's just an injectable microchip, just like your dog might have, that is scanned with a scanner, and it's the official, basically their social security number from there forward. From there till death, they've got to have that number with them. So, so we've got a box of 25 of those. And then I did end up purchasing a wipe warmer just for no other reason than I saw it on Facebook. Thought it was a really good idea. I can't remember who had that. I think it might have been Sinking Creek that had one. I thought it was a good idea. Just warm up the wipes before we use them. Hanging digital scale, which I've showed already. One of these. And then we've got the bottles that have the Pritchard nipples on them. So this is the one we plan on using. I have some other bottles as well that are, I believe, 400 mil that we're gonna use, but these are the ones that came with this. The Pritchard nipple is a really popular, one of probably the only nipples that are used out there. They come uncut, so you can make them whichever size that you want, depending on you just basically cut them as the animal grows. And this is the setup we're going to use. That it seems to be the most popular in the industry, and that's the plan there. So that's the list. Again, I have this all compiled into a spreadsheet. I'll happily give that out to anybody that wants it. And then if there's anything anybody thinks we should add to it, take away, that is something we absolutely don't need, we're wasting our time, wasting our money, please let me know about that. Again, we're new deer farmers for the first time. That's why we went through this whole thing, because I'm learning just as much as the next guy. So I can't wait to use it all and hope I don't have to use some of it. And this is going to be one heck of an experience for the whole family, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah. And we'll keep you updated when we have our first fawn. We'll be posting all of it. We'll be talking about it each week on the podcast.
There'll be a physical reveal each one we go out to, that you can, so we can prove to you the contest. And what
we're
they're
gonna video every single time, and we're like, oh, what is it?
Yeah. And so we'll be showing us writing down on the paper and doing this. Everything we talked about here, you'll see in action in the future. So this is all a preliminary situation that everybody can witness happening as we film it. And I hope everybody kind of enjoys that, because now when the fawns get involved, who doesn't enjoy a fawn video, right?
So if you're not, subscribe right now so you don't miss any of that.
Absolutely.
And let's get into the featured buck of the week. This week's featured buck of the week is Mohican out of Pine Creek Deer Farm in Bremen, Indiana, owned by Eddie Ray Borkholder. Let's get into the buck breakdown. Mohican's NADAR number is 334683. He was born in 2019, located in Indiana at Codine 96. Mohican is a GS with a GEBV of 0.061. Now let's take a look at his lineage as well as the offspring he's producing. Starting on the dam side, we have Pocahontas. She's a super impressive doe, and especially when you look at what she's behind. Pocahontas goes back to Storm Express on one side, and Miss Patrick on the other. And if you know anything about the Patrick bloodline, you already know that it's amazing. Miss Patrick is one of the most impactful does in this side of the industry. Her pedigree traces through Quicksilver, Silver Storm, Silver King. On the other side of Pocahontas, we have Storm Express, which brings Express and Green 43 into the picture. She's a doe that deer breeders know in this industry very well. Her offspring have shown up across elite programs: Whiskey River, Lone Pine, Double H Whitetails. Her influence is undeniable. Storm Express has himself produced Tornado Boy, New Faz, Justify, Thermal Image, and Storm Shadow. These are some serious animals. Lastly on this lineage, you have Gladiator 2, and then Thunderstorm. Now let's flip to the sire side. Mohican's sire is Bambi 2028. We've seen Bambi 2028 show up a ton of times. He's wide, heavy beamed, amazing for your genetics. Bambi 2028 goes back through 046 on one side and then 2020 on the other. 2020 traces through Bambi Double Drop, Bambi Jr., with Yankee also in the mix. Lastly, on the sire side, you have Buford. Now let's see what Mohican actually is putting on the ground. The production photos tell this story clearly. Mohican's offspring have shown up at Clear Creek Whitetails, Double H Whitetails, and Lone Pine Whitetails. His offspring include animals sired on Quicksilver, Silver King, and Silver Storm dams. And when you put Mohican's Bambi 2028 with on top of Quicksilver and Silver Storm does, the result is some seriously impressive deer. One of his featured offspring came through a Lone Punch dam out of a Quicksilver and Silver King, giving you Mohican genetics stacked on top of that Quicksilver Silver King combination. These bucks are wide and they're heavy. Another son out of a Storm Express Miss Patrick dam shows that when you combine Mohican sire side with the Miss Patrick dam influence you already heard about, you're getting proven genetics stacking on proven genetics. If you want to introduce Mohican into your breeding program, reach out to the Pine Creek Deer Farm Facebook page or Eddie Ray Borkholder at 574-546-0652.